Good evening and welcome to LUTV's coverage tonight. Leeds United under-21s are back in action as they host Brighton and hoping to build on a decent run of late under Scott Gardner. Only 4 points separate the two teams in the division, and yet there's 8 places separating. It just shows you how close the academy teams are within the progression, development of all these youngsters. It is going to be an entertaining last couple of months in the campaign. Brighton might be 8th, but they've struggled of late with no win in 5, whereas Scott Gardner's side have won 3 of their last 5. In terms of the teams for the hosts, it is Mahady in goal. And Mahady's defence in front of him is Chris Moore, James Debayo, Monteiro and Connor Ferguson. I believe it's then Alfie Cresswell and Chadwick sitting, with Douglas, Chambers and Nfonkeu out wide, before Gray will lead the line. For the bench, it's Ombang, McFadden, McDonald, Lopata-White and Vincent. And for tonight's visitors, who've put up some good battles against Leeds in recent years, it is Cahill, Tasker, Slater, Simmonds, Penman, Knight and Howell. Chouchane, Robertson, Mullins and Bashir. Shannon Ruth's bench is Owusu, Fisher, Belmount, Vickers and Oriola. So it is Brighton in the yellow tonight. Leeds starring in that kit a few weeks ago against Derby. There's a big win after that last time out against Norwich at the death, and a real spirited display with Cresswell getting on the score sheet and the skipper leading by example. So Leeds unbeaten in 4, including in that is a big win over Birmingham 3-0, a 1-1 draw against Chelsea. And I like to say I'm joined by my regular partner, Mr. Ben Parker, for tonight's action. And you're just touching upon that league table, Ben. You know, I guess that the new restructure a couple of years ago changed the dynamic of the league with so many teams in it. And you would look at this and think, yeah, Leeds are 16th. You would naturally view that and go, maybe they're not as far as I'd like to be. It's 4 points to 8th. A couple of wins. They're in the top 6, top 7 with a team that's largely made of under 18. That's an incredible achievement. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Tom, and good evening to everybody else. Saying you'll hear us say the word development quite a lot, and that's what it actually has been in terms of progressing younger players through to this level of football. And you're rightly saying in terms of even the man in the picture wearing the number 9. We all know about his attributes, but the age of him, the age of some of his teammates that, as you said, have had to make the step up to fill voids where players have been going into the first team or have had injuries, but it provides them opportunities. And ultimately, as a young player, part of your development is playing at the highest level you can progress through. And yeah, you have to have some difficult moments throughout the course of a season in games, but that's how you learn, that's how you get better. And that's what this campaign has been all about, and you've seen the progression game on game end. You're rightly saying in terms of the league position, so tight, and the boys tonight will be looking to improve that.
Yeah, Monteiro an early touch for the centre-backs to Debayo, who's able to pick out Cresswell. Brighton with an early press, putting pressure on Chambers. So a few more regular names back in the fold today. Chambers was a star at the start of the season, making a real good run forward to pick out Gray. Congratulations to Chambers as well for his recent FA Cup appearance. No mean feat to be doing that at his age and so early in his career as well. And he's in possession now, keeping Leeds' attack ticking over. And despite quite a gung-ho attempt, they've actually gone back and restarted things as Chadwick will carry possession through this midfield. Hacking's on the pitch, of course, for the recent rugby league fixture played here, so players just having to adjust to that as Chadwick will carry again. He's effortless sort of move forward as he picks out more, but he'll need to offer a helping hand here, the Leeds number 8, and he has. Chadwick to Douglas. Real positivity here from Scott Gardner's troops. Cresswell goes back. We've seen quite a difference in attack, Ben. We had Chambers doing what Sam Chambers does best, head down and driving forward. Thought he was going to go all on his own and score. And then it's been patient and methodical ever since then.
Yeah, it is about mixing a game up, and if the space is there to go and attack, drive the ball into, there's no one really better at this level of football than Sam Chambers in doing that. But the players have notified it's not all going to be gung-ho tonight. Going to build up from the back from time to time.
Yeah, Debayo tries to get away, does at the very last second, just lost his balance after a little nudge, but recovered his feet well. The main thing is he didn't seem to panic out there either as Brighton give possession away. Moore taking a little bit of time. Throwing inside, Brighton win it back. Quick interception to stop. Chambers, appeals from both teams. High boot coming in. Referee saying free kick leads his way. Gray just getting involved to make sure Brighton can't waste any more momentum that Leeds have built up. Douglas, neat touch needed, just not enough power on that pass. He will join the press though with Chadwick, and while Leeds don't win the ball back, they at least force an early clearance. Brighton pretty deep in their defensive shape. The number 9, Robertson, is right alongside Chadwick, so they're happy to work a little bit harder to narrow the gaps for Leeds United. And it is now Robertson leading the press as Monteiro goes back to Mahady. And again, we've often said these games can either start as barnstormers or it's like games of chess, working out where each team are going to be. There's a late nudge on Monteiro, nothing given by the officials. It's Brighton's turn now to build out from the back and take their time in possession. Little nudge from Gray. Chadwick lunge. Cresswell nips in. He's a little unlucky because he was on his way on the attack. Referee lets the game go. And recovering possession well was Chouchane there for Brighton. Ferguson nips in. The clearance downfield is the, I guess, first bit of robust defending we've had. It's all been very much a slow and steady build-up. You notice anything in particular, Ben, 4.5 in?
What I think we're trying to do is set a tempo, set a rhythm into his game, especially with the ball. Even when you do have time in possession, especially your centre-halves, if you're not going to get pressed, it's still a good habit to get into, a good mindset in limiting your touches. And just move the ball a little bit quicker. Keeps the Brighton shape honest. They're going to have to move and adapt to wherever the ball goes. So I always find it is best when we do that. Scott kind of gets that drilled into the players every day.
And clearance away, and Brighton relieve some pressures. They go out towards Bashir. Penman into Knight. He's placed pass, given Leeds half a chance. And Nfonkeu look for Chambers, picks him out via a deflection. Chambers at his best going on the attack. He just tried to squeeze it into the near post. And again, just same old. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He just puts defenders on notice and always seems to find that little gap bend that he needs to try and get through a defence.
Yeah, and we think that's his best position, just playing off that striker or around the midfield area where he can pick up on loose balls, drive at defenders, create things from a central area, and you can see what he's trying to do, give the keeper the eye. He's trying to go near post. Initially opened his body thinking he's going to curl it into the far corner. This occasion the goalkeeper was alert and alive.
Yeah, Cresswell. Speaking of alert and alive, he had to be. He's been played a few passes today that are a bit lower down the pyramid. I think could just be smashed away. He's been marked, I think, at least 3 times and they've given the ball. That's the faith they have in him. And you've also sometimes got to have that man, I guess, as the number 4 in a midfield. You've also, you know, do you have it where you've got to be given the ball because the other team engage the press? If you can play it quicker, there's big gaps. So you've almost got to be the lure, really, in a defensive unit.
Yeah, especially with his centre-half background, which probably seems a light year away when he used to play week in, week out there. But for Cresswell, yeah, in possession they can trust him, but plays such an important role because the fullbacks will go high and wide joining in. He'll just filter in and mop up any danger.
Brighton in possession with Simmonds. To Tasker. Out on the line to Moore, and he's running free, only for the inside pass to be reaching Mullins. Nfonkeu nips in. Leeds now on the attack. He's got Gray in support. Idea was to play Gray into the channel, just couldn't execute it. Was that too early or just not on at all?
Yeah, it just probably wasn't on the space. Wasn't there, but good anticipation in terms of closing the ball down. Good starting position. That's what you want from your wide people.
Brighton marching forward, space out wide for Bashir. Moore's got to get across, and quickly. The reason there was such a big gap was the number 11 had set off too early, and the free kick is given.
Yeah, and there's a little warning sign in terms of if you're not quite there on your press, you're arriving just that split second too late. Brighton do have the quality to play around you. Yeah, on that occasion, they just went a little bit too early. Offside flag did come up, but just a little warning sign.
Ferguson telling Debayo to go further wide to the right-hand side. Mahady then cuts it all the way back to the left. Leeds appealing for a free kick, which the referee was not interested in one bit. And on the attack they go, and Debayo's deflection gives Brighton a corner. Just lost their hold on the game a little bit, Leeds, Ben.
Yeah, that's to be expected because I thought it was a bright start in terms of the tempo we mentioned. Brighton do have the quality to dominate the ball themselves, create opportunities. So when that does happen, it's important defensively, you're in the right position, you're solid. Debayo were there, but we're going to have to be even more so from this corner.
In-swinger expected. To the near post, in which dealt with by Chadwick. It will fall though to a Brighton shirt. That was before Chambers raced across, and the little pull on the shirt from Robertson, the number 9, gives Leeds a breather. Effortless defensive work from Chambers, just stepping in. Mahady puts a bit of power behind that to Debayo, but there's a lack of progress from Leeds at the back. Mainly because of Brighton's positioning. They're just taking their time, and that's the pass they wanted. Nice and patient from Leeds. Looking for Gray, well covered by Brighton, but we say it a lot, don't we, in youth football about being careful in possession, being patient. You don't have to always go forward. And it worked there. There were several passes where you thought there's nothing going on. 2 passes later, Harry Gray nearly gets the ball.
Yeah, it's the risk and reward factor in terms of when to play that ball into a Charlie. Well, Alfie Cresswell, Charlie would like that, probably not as much, but with Alfie in there, he's going to offer a lot in possession. But when do you give him at the right time so he can get on the half turn to look forward? And that's what Harry Gray wants, doesn't he? He wants them early passes in behind. He keeps threatening that shoulder every single time.
Good header away by Cresswell. Right, and they'll try to catch Leeds out with Tasker. He wanted to play it down the line into Mullins, but not on the same page. He's appealing for a free kick, mainly those closest to Chambers. Pretty certain the way this referee, or at least his early indications are, that he wants to let the game flow. There's been a few calls for both teams that he's just totally ignored and tried to play with a certain tempo. Debayo looking over his shoulder because he knows the pressure's coming. The number 9's trying to cut that passing lane off. It's risky. It's worked. Chambers is caught with a little flick of the ankle, and it is away. And yeah, Leeds are playing, I want to say playing with fire, because they are capable of doing what they've just done. And there was no panic at all. It's like they almost knew that Robertson was there. And it is a quick fire 1-2, but I almost get the impression, Ben, that it's still quite a, there is still a nerve-wracking element to it. It can go very wrong quickly. Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of certain managers, what they would say to me if I tried to play a 1-2 in my own defensive penalty area, and I don't think it'd come down too well, but that's just the way the players trust each other's ability, the way we set up, the way we play, and it's just good to see young players having that trust and confidence in their own ability.
Chadwick floats it down the line. He was looking for Douglas, but just overhit. It was always spinning out of play. To Gray, Brighton running out of room. Should be a Leeds throw-in. Interesting free kick decision. Gray penalised for a foul on the Brighton man while thrown to the floor.
Yeah. Baffling.
Did you do that often in your career? Get thrown to the floor and win free kicks? I'm not sure it's the thing. I mean, the arms across him, but a free kick's a big call.
I wish that was a kind of a tactic or something you could use when I played. It'd have got me out of a lot of trouble, believe me.
Cresswell knocked off the ball. Brighton high up the pitch, but don't really go far with it, so they'll need to lead to massively panic. Nfonkeu sticks out the leg to get it back. Chadwick nicks in with a good touch, but only to recover possession for Brighton. Tasker, quick fire 1-2 with Tim on the right side, and Howell. And he tries to be a bit crafty and drags the ball out of play for a goal kick. But again, just seen a couple of glimpses from each team out wide, mainly for Leeds. I guess the threat is centrally through Chambers. So much time left, even in this first half, for a pattern to develop. And ball claims from Leeds ignored by the ref. The pace of the game just slowing right down. Great, and a few teammates trying to change that fact. Cresswell nips in. It's good aggressive pressurising from the hosts. Don't want Brighton to set into any rhythm. And the Seagulls can be the same, because Robertson's leading the charge, and a very evenly matched 16.5 minutes, Ben.
Yeah, it's a real arm wrestle at the moment. Pretty much all the players been played between both penalty areas, and you get games like this start to matches where you have to almost patient in terms of your approach. Yeah, you want to go out early doors, get an early goal. It's always a cliche within football, but to give credit to the opposition and keep alert and alive at all times.
Yeah, alert is what Mahady had to be. Cresswell dispossessed. You expected the number 10 to pick out Josh Robertson. Instead, he had other ideas. Did Jamie Mullins. Went for goal. And Rory Mahady has had to be so quick and really stretched to get that ball over the top, and he's done well.
I tell you what, he made it look relatively simple and easy in the end, but let me tell you, just to gather his bearings and flick it over the crossbar, very, very good save in the end from Mahady, because it looked like at one moment he was struggling, backpedaling towards his own goal.
Poor corner helps Leeds recover and get clear. Douglas is putting pressure on. Chadwick gets the nudge in the back. Again, another replay of it. And I think, as you say, his recovery is good, but very tough to actually get the hand on the ball and actually tip it. You know, he could have tipped that straight into the back of his own net.
And that's what I mean about your bearings on a pitch, and it's so difficult running back. Wouldn't have had time pretty much to check his shoulder, see how far out from his goal line he is. So very good goalkeeping. Like I said, he made it look easy, but believe me, it wasn't that simple.
Good header from Debayo. Chadwick stumbling, then gets pulled to the floor. Referee spots it. Ferguson from Debayo. Those two will go straight back to each other, and tall, rangy Debayo uses that extra length of stride to get away from trouble, as he often does. He's got great pace about him, the Leeds centre half. Leeds have gone back to a experienced back line in recent weeks, with more Debayo and Monteiro out there. Debayo plays it out to the left wing, but it's blocked immediately by Howell. Brighton with Knight looking for a way through. Penman gets it, pressured from Chambers. Bashir trying to get behind the Leeds defence, and he has done so, but again he's stepped off too early. Still can't see that as a positive though, can you, Ben? You're happy, but you don't want the one time to be where he actually timed his run properly to be the one that you get punished by.
We have to say, every time we've been putting a press on, the defence, the gaps between each line have been so good that, yeah, just catching Brighton offside a couple of times. But it's a good point you raised. We've still got to be alert and alive in case that one time we do switch off and the ball goes over into Brighton's favour. But just like in the distances that we've got between the defence, midfield, Harry Gray leading the line, so compact, out of possession.
Monteiro to Mahady, now Debayo again. Nearly halfway through this first half. Debayo just slowly looked like he's going to play a crossfield ball. He's a favourite of his. There it goes. Looking up towards Moore. And cutting as a inverted fullback. Cresswell to Douglas. A quiet opening for the Leeds number 7. No space to manoeuvre. A few subs being told to warm up and prepare for perhaps a second half introduction as Douglas comes deep to receive possession. Even Cresswell's further forward than him, but Brighton have retreated into a bit of a shell, stopping all lanes to Leeds to progress. Chadwick back to Monteiro. Brighton are now happy to force Leeds back, and it's a less than very good defensive structure so far.
Yeah, I mentioned it's an arm wrestle, almost a chess battle you can call it as well, because just when you think you've got a bit of an overload out wide, Brighton get back in numbers. We're having to go back to the goalkeeper. But do you know what? I don't mind that, because what Brighton are wanting us to do is force the pass, turn the ball high over, bodies out of the way, but it's a great play here.
Yeah, on the attack is Nfonkeu, tried to squeeze it across to Douglas, picked up by Chadwick. A little cut back from Moore. Chadwick flies in, no free kick given. Douglas is going to line up a shot, deflected away and hacked clear by Brighton, only for Debayo to bring it under control. Tried to play it wide to Ferguson, you could see the intention. Chambers wins it back, it's all got very scrappy. Nearly fell in Leeds' favour again, as Monteiro will concede a free kick, and it's a frustration that for Leeds because they were clear. Yellow card is a quick decision from the referee, but I think even at first viewing, Ben Monteiro, to some that's fine, but he has no intention of getting to the ball.
And that's the danger, because you can see, have a little look, Conor Ferguson was always going to be first to get there, and he's got to walk a tightrope now, does Monteiro.
Yeah, real frustration for Leeds, but they have to just try and learn from that. And you sometimes do, don't you? You see what a team does on the counter-attack, and you think, right, we can react to that next time. It was positive from Leeds. It nearly worked in their favour as well, that aggressive press. Debayo beaten. Ferguson nips in, doesn't get to it. Howell has a quick glance at goal, picks out Bashir. Moore try to close him down. Bodies queuing up on the edge of the box. Brighton looking for a shooting lane. Just whipped past the post. And Mahady didn't look to be too worried. I don't think he would have had much choice to get across. Such was the venom on the shot of Brighton's best move of the match, mainly helped by the lack of offside flag.
Yeah, and they work the ball ever so quickly, right to left, back to edge of the box, trying to scramble back, trying to get a block, trying to make it more difficult. We get the shot away, and as you mentioned, I think Mahady was relatively comfortable, but again, it's just a sign when you're not set up structurally or get the numbers back into positions where you need, the opposition can hurt you.
Referee just stopping play. Brighton player wasn't ready behind, so ref just double checking there was no issues should Leeds recover possession from this throw-in. Good header from Moore. Nearly fell to Chadwick. It's all, again, got very out of control for Brighton at the back, but commanding. And they're also quite crafty with some of this time, not time wasted, but they're just ensuring that Leeds don't have quick-fire possession, walking away from the ball so they can get back in a defensive structure. Again, no progression for Leeds to the middle. Monteiro, Mahady, Debayo have all exchanged passes in the last few seconds, and Debayo draws in the Brighton player, waits for a gap, tried to play it to Gray. Cresswell then did the same thing, but Gray had come back to get back on side, so breakdown in communication there as Bashir collects possession, tries to poke it down the line to Robertson. And a mistake from Brighton, but again, yeah, very similar, Ben. No gaps. Shouldn't be like this, of course. You know, this is how it should be. Teams giving nothing away, no mistakes. No one's doing anything wrong, and that's the problem at the minute.
Yeah, and from a tactical point of view, from the sidelines in both dugouts, it's quite intriguing. How do you create those extra opportunities? Again, probably the patience is the key. the pitch doesn't help in certain parts where we've been so bobbly. You mentioned the rugby markings, but it's almost, can you limit your mistakes?
Monteiro, Chadwick told he hasn't got time. He wouldn't play like he had, though. A big rush on, so effortless, just a little flick of the right boot to pick out Cresswell. For a man that was playing for the 18s last year and still did this year. Just shows you the progression he's made. Never looked out of place playing for the 21s. It's down the line, Leeds try and pick out Chambers. Bit of a different idea for Leeds, try to go down the line, but nothing doing, and it is behind for a goal kick. Reminder of the Leeds bench: Ombang, McFadden, McDonald, Lopata-White and Vincent, so some regular 21s names in there. Ambitious pass from Knight. Brighton thought they had a 2-on-1. They did. But for Monteiro's quick defending, Douglas there in support as well. Mahady, as always does, looked for a short pass first. Douglas to Moore. Leeds playing with fire, getting away with it until that progressive pass from Moore. Breakdown there, because I'm pretty certain he expected a white shirt to be stood nearby. So somebody hasn't made the run that he expected. Chambers trying to force Chouchane into a mistake. Knight back into Penman. Leeds not exactly going all out defensively. And Gray just staying in the central position. Now a bit more movement as Cresswell nips in, gets a toe to the ball, only for Brighton to recover. But very similarly, Ben, Leeds are trying to limit the gaps through the middle for Brighton. Quite happy for the play to go to the two fullbacks, and there's not that much of an aggressive press up front. Not to say they won't burst into life at any second. It's almost trying to catch Brighton off guard. Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do, set little traps. But when one does go press, it's important people back up from behind, otherwise you get this situation.
That's exactly what Brighton wanted, as now they're on the attack. Cutback is on. Monteiro stretches out the leg. Bashir scuffs the ball, but it's the faintest of touches that outdoes Mahady. Because of the lack of power, I think it outfoxes the goalkeeper, and it's helped its way into the back of the net. Leeds 0, Brighton 1.
Yeah, it's a scruffy finish in the end, and Leeds will be really disappointed in the nature of it, because we're just talking about having a good shape, pressing, but if one goes press, one sets the trigger from behind, you've got to get it so right, because it takes 2-3 passes, progress with the ball, all of a sudden so many white shirts are out of the equation. And for Brighton, can they pick the right moment, the right pass? They did at the end. Scruffy finish, but disappointing how the goal came about.
Yeah, what I would say there as well, Ben, you could see Bashir that he came alive at the far post. I don't think Leeds expected it to get anywhere near him, but the speed that he showed to quickly get across, and yeah, as you said, the finish. I mean, if he hits it true, Mahady saves it, or he's at least going to get a touch to the ball. But if you're not in the right place and don't shoot, you never know. And it is, with 15 minutes left of the first half, a learning curve for Leeds' 21s. So right at the start, we've had some great battles against Brighton in recent years at the PL2 level. To Douglas, somehow got the 1-2, nearly got another. Difficult for Moore, Ben, because he has to be quick, and naturally that means you're more powerful into the challenge, and it needed a faint touch.
Yeah, I think from Leeds' perspective is, can we start trying to get or build the overloads down in the wide areas, because in recent games that's when we have looked strong, and then it's over to Brighton. Do you put an extra body over to that area to then for Leeds free up the space for a Sam Chambers as a number 10? Harry Gray might get more opportunities to get the ball into him or downside of a channel, but at the moment Brighton are standing firm. So for Leeds, it's all about, can you just get back into the game, a little bit of possession, play in the right areas, maybe turn them.
That's a Mahady. Monteiro to Mahady again. Leeds just not able to inject that pace they sometimes want at the back. Not been too far away, just seen it then with the more 1-2 with Douglas. There's going to be occasions they'll get close. Chambers trying to play a pass to Ferguson, intercepted by Tasker. The more he progressed, he was running out of options. He's got one with Howell. Play backwards though. And Leeds, unlike the goal, don't get punished for giving the ball away. And Brighton are set up to frustrate and then punish on the counter. And a fine line, isn't it, Ben, when you're forced to try and push on and get an equaliser. If you give the ball away, it could end up in double trouble. As get your thoughts in a second as Howell gets hold of possession, trying to get past Ferguson, who for now stands his ground. To Tasker, not the best first touch, but gets away with it. Brighton on the edge of the box have options. Chadwick sticks out the leg. Nfonkeu's back there. Pass out from him. Strong challenge coming in from Knight. Monteiro gets a toe to the ball. But it is all Brighton now in possession, Ben.
Yeah, and just the little ricochets, rub of the green, starting to go into Brighton's favour. A couple of great bits of defending. Little moments from Nfonkeu and Harry Gray. Flip side, you want them two players in the attacking third. But fair play to the two players there, not neglecting the defensive duties, but how can we get those types of players involved higher up the pitch? Because in terms of an attacking service, not really seeing the best of our front four at the moment.
Space here for Slater to get on the attack. Doesn't use it for now. Goes backwards into Knight. Ferguson nips in. It's a well-timed interception. He's got the speed to get away. Passes over hit though, looking for Chambers. I think Gray thought the pass should have come to him. It's another area though where Leeds can feel that some press can help them out. I'm about to say that there is non-existent rushing out from the front from the likes of Gray and Chambers. They want them to go wide. Clearly that's the tactic, and it worked. It's just the next pass is too overhit as Leeds have a player down.
You're not sure what really happened here, whether it was just a follow through from the Brighton defender clearing the ball. Sometimes you see that strikers trying to block the clearance. Seems okay, does young Harry Gray, but there can be sole ones, can them?
Yeah, Gray just slow to get to his feet. It's going to allow Scott Gallagher and the rest of his coaching team to have a word with the players. A few drinks on board for the players as well, just to energy levels back. It hasn't been the most frantic 37 minutes, but still these little breaks do help can reiterate some tactics. It can give you new ideas. I mean, they are young, but you're also getting feedback off the players as well. What they've noticed, anything they can try and pick up on as well going into half-time.
Yeah, sometimes, as you mentioned, it's good for just a little reset. Certainly very little small break we had there, but yeah, it can be beneficial. I'm sure the players will know they're in a tough game today. Both teams are, and it's fine margins that can settle these type of games. So for Leeds, we know we're bang right in this game, but we're just hoping to get more of the play in our attacking third and let the forward players here to showcase their capabilities in either a 1v1 situation, getting the shots away. Just not really seen that so far in the first 38 minutes.
Yeah, Brighton keeper, enough time to take a couple of touches. Cahill. Good work from Debayo. Referee plays advantage. Chambers, he's having his shirt pulled. Still going, Chambers. Room to shoot. Last second, it's shut down on him. Leeds never felt they were going to get the rub of the green. A few 50-50 calls for free kicks. The referee gave the first one, gave advantage without Chambers' flick. They were getting a set piece. And that's a really fine margin. Gray and a few others having a debrief with the official. Do you feel they've got a case, Ben?
Yeah, I think the advantage might have been there. There definitely was a foul, but didn't really quite see any advantage kind of progress as soon as Chambers got the half a yard, couldn't get his shot away, couldn't get a pass away. So I think the players just aggrieved that the play didn't get brought back for the initial foul.
Here's Douglas. To Debayo. Now Cresswell. Brighton bench delighted with the defensive work. Referee just wants a word with the tasker. Clearly felt perhaps he went in a little bit over the top. Good turn from Chadwick. Pulled to the floor by the ref. According to the referee's opinion, by Knight. Again, Brighton have been very clever, slowing the play down. We did see when the new rules came in 2 seasons ago, players were just smacking the ball against defenders blocking free kick lanes. Leeds haven't used those tactics just yet. Chadwick to Douglas. Floater allows Ferguson to meet it on the full. And it's a position where the fullback would feel he could have done better. We saw Junior Furper have a similar situation, and then 20 minutes later, he made a brilliant header, Ben. Are we going to say in about the hour mark, Conor Ferguson's going to nestle one in?
Well, by law of averages and how you set it up, then, yeah, we're on for a Conor Ferguson screamer, a bullet of a header, but what a chance. It's a fantastic cross, really is. First time we've really got down the sides of Brighton and been able to put a dangerous ball into the box, and that's the freedom we do allow the players as fullbacks to join in from the other side. And probably more in shock and surprise than anything is Conor Ferguson that the ball has arrived to him and is in acres of space, 6-7 yards out. All he has to do to hit the target, and we're back level, and just gets his bearings all wrong. But as you said, the Junior Firpo within will come out hopefully later in the game.
Yeah, if we're going down that line as well, he'll get a goal next week. As here is Mahady. Just a couple of minutes left to Leeds to maybe build on that. Great delivery from Douglas. Low and hard would not have worked. It had to be floated. Just haven't been able to click in that edge of the Brighton box, but who knows what can happen in the second half. Debayo gets away. Wants the 1-2 with Ferguson. Cresswell to Debayo. Back out to Ferguson. Monteiro into Moore. Bit of strength showed from the Leeds fullback. Helps Leeds keep the ball. Cresswell spins away. Nearly fell for Ferguson. Monteiro's crossfield pass. Gray the shield to ensure it got to the fullback. Can Leeds create anything from this throw? Ferguson looking for an option. Brighton's work defensively have ensured that it's very difficult for any space to be found. Debayo to Ferguson. That's taken 2 players out. Chambers. Here's Cresswell. Leeds, though, couldn't go across field to the right-hand side as much as they would have liked, so they'll look for another avenue. Chadwick again. 6 or 7 yellow shirts around the edge of the box for Brighton, if not more, centrally. Cresswell to Debayo again. There's just no space. Brighton have now got 2 players on the attack. Debayo takes them out, tries something a bit different, gives it away. And Monteiro's job is to race across. You can see, though, James Debayo, you know, he has been caught out in the past in possession, but he's a very confident ball carrier. He can create something. He has found a lot of gaps, but you're almost on that tightrope, seeing which way it's going to buckle first.
He certainly is, and he's just trying to make something happen. Notified there wasn't much space or an opportunity to find a pass, so utilise his skill set trying to get past. Then Brighton players closing him down.
More deflection will come back to him. Cresswell to Monteiro. And back again. Difficult for Douglas to get to it. It'll fall to Cresswell. Bobbling ball. Referee, in fact, says it had gone. And pretty much that'll be the 45 minutes up at the LNER Community Stadium. Just a minute of stoppage time confirmed, which has nearly been taken up by this free kick. More just unfortunately probably got up a bit too early there. Better contact from the Leeds defender. Debayo trying to get something going with a long pass. Imperative that Leeds don't give anything away. There's a big chance now. Ferguson got to cover both. Debayo the same. Force wide is Howell. Not the best pass from Mullins. Ferguson was a sitting duck there at one point. Leeds have done well to push this further wide, albeit it was Brighton's poor pass. And there is half time. So 1-0 to Brighton thanks to Bashir's finish. Anything in particular, Ben, you think Scott Garner will focus on for that second half?
I think ultimately we've had one clear chance, and it's that Conor Ferguson header, but apart from that, we've not really been able to get into the game in an attacking sense, so create more opportunities, mindful of, yeah, Brighton have got danger men out on the pitch, so don't commit too many bodies forward, but can you just create a bit of tempo, a bit of energy in the final third, and hopefully that'll get us back into the game. Yeah, so half-time at the LNER Community Stadium. Leeds United 0, Brighton 1. And Brighton, for large parts of the second half, sorry, the first half, were just in control. Pretty well managed
Nobody really under pressure at the back. But that can often change in youth football. With a half-time team talk from both coaches, you never know what could happen. Leeds weren't exactly outclassed. They had a few moments of joy, but they could have had a bit better conversion as they win a free kick with Chambers. He was central. It's just these areas where I think Leeds could perhaps do with being a bit streetwise, maybe bent, because, you know, if I'm not saying you're going to get, I don't really want players, you know, I guess, would you want players to be constantly asking for cards? But when you try to win a game and they're standing on every free kick, if Harry Gray plays that backwards, the referee has to book him, surely.
It's really frustrated you this tonight, hasn't it, Tom?
It's got you, has, yeah. I can't lie, it's got to me a little bit. Well done, Brighton.
Yeah, but no, you're right. It's like in terms of little moments like that, if you're Brighton, going to do it, aren't you? And it's up to us to come up with a different solution. But I think it's all about setting your own tempo. Trying, as we mentioned, end of the first half, just trying to create a spark in the final third.
Douglas try to do that right now. Chadwick nicks in. Cresswell, likewise, just about gets it to Ferguson. Nfonkeu under pressure immediately, and the Brighton players delighted with the pressure applied to the Leeds left midfielder. Debayo to Ferguson, inside to Gray. Not the best first touch, and just the way that Brighton have defended today, set up perfectly well for any mistakes there. Leeds will know they'll have to be near perfect at this rate to get past Brighton, such as the defensive setup. But form book tells you that they're vulnerable. No win in 5. But the likes of Luton, Everton, Norwich, Villa and Athletic Bilbao in that time. Leeds in recent weeks have had some late wins. The likes of Derby trailing for practically 70 minutes of that game, scoring late on. Same against Norwich, the last kick of the game. So there'll be nobody panicking for Leeds, Ben. And of course, good options on the bench as well.
Yes, as you mentioned, no need to panic whatsoever. There's so much football left to be played, but it's just these occasions here. Can we move that ball just ever so slightly quicker, just to enable a little bit of space for players in those forward areas do? Yeah, we mentioned to go create.
Free kick goes Leeds' way. Monteiro to Debayo, Leeds. Good turn from Cresswell. Nearly got beaten. Chadwick the same, but they've both managed to wriggle away from trouble. Chadwick trying to poke it forward. Strong challenge flies in on Joe Knight. Referee, I don't think originally was going to give that. And Knight, 6 forward sideways rolls, has got the yellow card and he's up on his feet. Not saying the challenge wasn't aggressive. Do you think it was a free kick?
No, all gets the ball. Believe it or not, some are allowed to tackle in the game, and
good challenge, yeah.
Fair challenge, goes to the ground, wins it. It's just the reaction of the Brighton players just bought the free kick, and not only that, the yellow card for Chadwick, who was so unlucky.
Here's Gray. First time he's been able to open up the legs, and there is Gray trying to play a quick free kick. He's trying to catch them out off guard with Douglas, and Brighton were there in the right place. And that's frustration for Gray. because he was been itching to get on the ball. He thinks he can outfox them. The referee says, well, yeah, play on. It doesn't work, and it was in shooting territory, that as well.
Well, initially it should be a yellow card, so the quick free kick shouldn't be able to take place, and I think Harry Gray's got a bit of a headset on listening to yourself tonight, trying to kick the ball against the players, so keep quick. It's your fault he did that, son, actually.
I was going to say, did it take a touch off the number 8? Just desperately try to salvage something for him. But
Yeah.
I think Brighton are doing really well in that area of the game. Here's Cresswell looking for Gray, doesn't reach him. We'll do those second time around. Space again for Gray. He's gone to ground pretty heavily. Felt the effects of that. Debayo was looking for Ferguson, just slightly behind him. 6 minutes into this second half, Leeds still trailing. Debayo steps in as Brighton go for a quick fire pass over the top, and Monteiro has to be quick, and is, to get away from Josh Robertson, who was trying to take him out. Here's Chadwick. Leeds certainly up the speed of the game a little bit. Isn't actually helping their cause because the mistakes in possession, but do you sense a bit more of a lift, Ben, across the play that Leeds have had?
Yeah, I think the first opportunity we have on the ball in possession, can we play it forward? And sometimes we're not going to get it right every single time, but the intent's there. That'll force Brighton back, and then get a bit more time in possession, a bit more space, hopefully. The first real opportunity, or big opportunity in the game we've had, is from a cross out wide. We've not really got into those positions throughout the game so far, and that'll be looking, the players to create that overload in those wide areas.
Another free kick, this time on Chambers. Brighton are not happy. They'll feel that they're getting to the ball. Referee wants a word now, though, for Knight. And the referee wants to move with the captain as well, just to try and put a lid on things. Back to Mahady. Leeds just retreating immediately, even further back into their own half. Again to Mahady. Leeds just dropping the tempo last 30 seconds or so. Monteiro collects. Douglas just shimmying on the touchline, trying to force a Brighton player out of position. Chambers caught on the ball. Brighton paid special attention to Chambers since about 5 minutes in, once he got free from the defenders for the first time. Cresswell jumps up, Chambers likewise gets involved, but Brighton win it back. It'll fall to the Leeds number 10, and that's a desperate lunge. You can hear the crowd suggest how close that one was to an injured Leeds United player. Thankfully, Chambers avoided the collision his away. I think it was Sam Chouchane that went for the powerful tackle. May well get carded once this play comes to an end. Douglas into Gray, dropped into number 10 spot. Now Chadwick. Moore hugging the touchline, looks to the box, no options because Gray's come short. Wants a 1-2, gets it with Chadwick, he's caught late. Gray will spin away, he goes to ground. Wants a penalty. Do find that quite funny that Knight is looking at Harry Gray to suggest he dived, and yet It was his theatrics that got Chadwick booked, and now the number 8 is booked in Sammy Chouchane for the foul on the edge of the area. And don't think Brighton's tactics will alter, Ben, that they are going to try and frustrate Leeds. And Chouchane is given that yellow card. 3-man wall for now, which is difficult for Chadwick to look to the near post because they've put Knight in the wall. He's the tallest player Brighton have out there. Be a big moment this for Leeds if they can pull a goal back. Good delivery from Chadwick, looking for more. Nobody got a touch on that. Remarkably, it is a goal kick, but a defender's dream, Ben, if you're coming up from a set piece, that delivery.
That's a wicked delivery, really was. Dangerous area. That's what you expect from Reece Chadwick in those situations. If anything, probably too much pace on it because it just evades Chris Moore at the back post, but nearly the goal that the home team have been craving for to get back into the game.
And ball there from Bashir. Chambers has had somebody in Brighton colours within arm's length for about half an hour now. It was that pass from Ferguson to Chambers that was stopped and intercepted. No pass going Leeds' way. Chambers does well, gets in. Make sure there's no foul given away, but the pass is a risky one to Douglas. Both teams guilty there of expecting they had too much time. Awkward flight for Monteiro, so he just has to concede a nearby throw-in. Reminded that bench for Leeds: Ombang, McFadden, McDonald, Lopata-White and Vincent. Leeds have had some success in recent weeks of the back three. So whether they switch the formation to bring the best out of the group remains to be seen. Another foul from Chouchane, trying to annoy Chadwick. Both of them on a yellow card, so have to be careful. Keeper coming off his line, takes out his own player. And he's going to be okay to continue his task. There's some collision. Nearly picked out Brooklyn Nfonkeu, but just a little bit too much on the first touch from him.
Yeah, it's just something we haven't seen too much in terms of those little passes in behind the fullback for our wide players to try and get on the end of.
Throwing deep inside Leeds' half, just what Brighton wanted. fall for Cresswell. The referee doesn't allow Leeds to play it quick because Cresswell was still down. The best pass from Monteiro, nearly allowing Mullins to get in. Monteiro was looking for Gray, but Leeds' play just dried up a little bit, an attacking sense last few minutes. Chambers with a foul, which was not appreciated by the Brighton man, which you can understand. Wasn't the best of challenges.
Yeah, just a foul. That was it. I did a little bit of a head loss. He actually tried to grab Sam Chambers, but completely missed him. And yeah, the little giggle did Sam, but yeah, just a foul, nothing more.
Good hands from Mahady, tipping it away from trouble. Tells Cresswell he's got the time. Instead of going backwards, Cresswell, I don't think, was happy with the lack of options in front of him. Cresswell to Debayo, Leeds sending a few more subs out, perhaps for a final warm-up before a change of personnel. Monteiro was the one trying to open up the Brighton defence. Bashir gets it from him. Slater leads his aggressive defensive work has at least forced Brighton back, but they've conceded a free kick. Monteiro a bit too powerful in the challenge. 63 minutes gone. I think it's time for a change, Ben.
I think it's time to, well, for the referee just to stop it being so scrappy. But breaking play, goalkeeper down for Brighton. He'll get some treatment. Both sets of players will go over to the sideline, and yeah, it's been very scrappy the last 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of free kicks. No rhythm and tempo to the game because of that. All the team getting instructions here by Scott Gardner and the coaching staff. But yeah, look to the bench. Maybe someone like a McDonald who can create something out of nothing. Got the luxury of those kind of options come off from the bench. But it's that moment in the game. You look at the clock now, approaching 64 minutes, and we know a second goal for Brighton would be a killer goal, really would. Wouldn't be the end of the contest, but we know how hard it would be to get back into the game with the time remaining, and it's almost juggling that on the flip side with putting bodies forward, maybe an extra midfielder joining in, bit of third man runner, trying to create that extra opportunity, get the goal back. But we do know what he'll leave on a defensive play from ourselves. So yeah, it's a pivotal time in the game. Does Scott Gardner look to his bench? Does he give the players another 5-10 minutes to try and create something? But it's been a really scrappy second half.
Yeah, a few more tactical updates from the coaching team. First real pause in play in the second half, and I cut back to the only goal we've had so far. Bashir's effort, 31 minutes in, which Leeds just had too many defenders drawn out, big gaps exploited pretty quickly. As the goalkeeper Cahill is good to go. Debayo to Ferguson. Players on the far side for Leeds asking for possession. Douglas in particular, not going there though. Even though Brighton are down to 10 men, an outfield player, Leeds decide to go left instead. Will it work? It will not. Maybe just guilty there, Ben, of just trying too many passes. The pass to Douglas was there.
And we didn't help ourselves, we just slowed the play down. And I know Brighton have got a body less, but you just know within football, a team with a man down, even for a brief period of time, that's when you just move it a bit quicker, and sometimes the simple pass is the right option. Just play out wide right. Douglas was on, as you said. Might have stretched Brighton, could have recycled the ball on the left-hand side, but we tried the crossfield pass, wasn't on. Slows the momentum down.
Yeah, Tasco's the one that needed treatment. Facial injury that he's had patched up. And I say that politely. Just been given a big pile of tissue by the looks of things to try and help him out. And he's willing to continue. I'm surprised, you know, the injury he had at the first instance when he went smashing into his own goalkeeper, it could have been an after effects from that. And it's great to see that he's able to continue. Never want to see any player, opposition or Leeds, having to leave the field of play through injury. He's toughing it out there for his team. As Cresswell gives away a free kick. Leeds felt that that was a ball-winning challenge. Chadwick's eyes are popping out of his head in disbelief. Of course, he's got to try and stay calm out there. As Cresswell's the skipper, that's got to try and keep a lid on those emotions. Leeds do have 2 subs without their tracksuit tops, so tells you one thing, that Scott Gardner is ready to try and tweak things. So whether it's like for like or a formation switch, as Moore heads out to the wing for Douglas. Brighton very aggressive in the challenge, don't come away with it. Douglas turns inside, Gray's fouled on the halfway line. Referee gives advantage as Nfonkeu's trying to get to the ball. Tasker gets clear. And the Seagulls come away with possession. Now this time Cresswell will concede. I am surprised that his players are shocked by that. The arms came out, there was a push. Can't really complain, but there's a lot of needle out there. Just seeing Chambers kick the ball, I mean, it's very, very, very minor, but Chambers kicking the ball against the Brighton player, Knight coming across and putting the shoulder in. There's a real intensity about this game, but the actual play itself isn't matching it. Yeah,
and slight frustration is probably creeping into the play. Just again, the forward players, the forward-thinking players in the Leeds side just haven't had the possession or the right opportunities to express the attacking talent they do have, and that frustration does come out then.
Chadwick couldn't make a challenge, being on a card, so Brighton come away with it. Howell looking for a way through to Tasker, trying to play it across for a teammate, and he did. And somebody in yellow had to tap it in for Brighton. Major opportunity for them. Thankfully for Leeds United, it comes to nothing, still at 0-1.
Yeah, and thankfully it is still 0-1, Tom, because they work it ever so well. A little bit of luck go the way in terms of that pass, but a little overload, fullback joining in. Just puts it across the 6-yard box, waiting for it to be tapped home. Nobody in a yellow shirt, as you said, was gambling, and the big let off in the end.
Yeah, so a change for Leeds. We'll see, looks of things, Chambers and Nfonkeu, the 2 that are coming off. McDonald is one of them that's coming into the frame. And I think the other one is McFadden, so perhaps just like for like. McFadden can go to 10. McDonald can go to left midfield. Equally as strong in those positions together. Both again from the under-18s from last season. Never really saw the chance for Leeds to get possession into Chambers much in the second half. McDonald is a player that thrives on the ball out wide, Ben, and get it into his feet. So Leeds can't use the same tactics. It can't be stop-start. It's got to be relentless, playing it into his feet. Feel the fullback, by the way, for that Brighton chance he's shooting.
I know you are, and yeah, I am as well, but it's one of those, I think, you get taught now on certain occasions, crossing and finishing sessions just to try and pick someone out in the box when, yeah, hindsight's always wonderful looking back on it. Not too far out, just put your foot through the ball. You almost try and score the perfect goal, and thankfully went down that route and didn't come off for us.
You often find perhaps you maybe catch the keeper out now rather than them expecting the shots. Mahady gets hold of the ball now. McFadden's actually gone out wide to the right, so interesting to see what Leeds have done defensively here. It could well be the back three again with Debayo, Monteiro and Moore. Douglas as a wing back, Ferguson as a wing back, and they've gone with 2 10s. Try and work that out, but my first guess is that could be what they've decided to do. McFadden gets a touch to it to Chadwick. Cross to Cresswell, nearly reaches Ferguson. Tasker gets his foot in the way. And it's back to Moore. That was a bit better from Leeds. Ben McFadden with an important touch. Brighton are making a change as well because maybe they've spotted something with this new system of Leeds and want to try and nullify it.
Yeah, if it's a system that they've gone to, I said previously in the game, and rightly brought it up in terms of the success we have had lately by playing that three at the back.
Yeah, Chadwick, first touch was good, second wasn't. It's determined from Douglas, but Knight stands his ground. Cresswell gets it. Free kick goes against Alfie Cresswell. That's the third in a row he's given away, and I think the two either side of the push, he's got a ground. I think there's not much in it. But I've come to frustrate in scoring the goal, and the change we'll see Robertson, who is on the floor, be replaced by the number 16, Oriola. Belmount should I say. My error on that one. Belmount on for Robertson. There was a bit of a bruiser sort of centre forward. Didn't have much service. It's been a game where neither nines had a real supply, have they? I mean, we've seen Gray dropping a little bit to get possession. You sort of learn your craft and your experience when you only get maybe one shot in the game. Ben Leeds will hope Harry Gray has it.
Yeah, and just go off your memory of the game. You can't really recall both sets of keepers making any significant saves, and just kind of showcases what the game has been like. Played a lot between both penalty areas, and again, that's when the frustration does creep in because you're trying to build up and you've been patient, and then whether it's a pass goes astray, Brighton defensively have been strong, it just leads to them frustrations creeping in, but still 16 minutes to be played plus stoppage, so it's important to still stick to our principles, still trying to do the things we work on every day in training, and hopefully those will create an opportunity.
Yeah, Moore looking for Chadwick. There's definitely been a switch at the back, hasn't there, with the Moore's come a lot more central, so has Debayo. So it does look like a 3 at the back. 2 wing backs, maybe 2 10s as well. Here's one of them in McFadden dropping in to get a touch on the ball. And now Moore's got a bit of space. Brighton just switching off there into Chadwick. Difficult for him, and he gives it away. Now McFadden's racing back to stop Mullins getting free. Up to Tasker. Gets away from Ferguson. Howell try to get away from McDonald. Done well there, Leeds, with Ferguson. Pressure immediately on Chadwick, who just uses his body expertly well, to McFadden. Leeds just trying to stretch the play. They've been never given a chance to do so. Here's Chadwick. Got to praise the Brighton work. McDonald again. Bobbling ball out wide. Needed to be better. And now Ferguson's way out of position. Tasker had to go to feet. Brighton perhaps mentally tired. And you wouldn't be surprised by that. The defensive, they've been so solid. And it's hard at this level, Ben, to maintain it for 90 minutes.
No, it is, and that's going to be the challenge for ourselves. It's all good saying stick to your principles, but you've got to try and force something when you're tired, and both sets of players are putting an awful lot into this game defensively. The hardest part of the game always has been putting the ball in back of the net, and that's what we've got to try and do.
Foul by McFadden, just what Brighton need in a key area. Brighton, again, maybe playing it too quickly. It's carved open, Leeds there. Ferguson into Debayo. Gray into McDonald. More to McFadden. Douglas is out wide, not utilised for now. Leeds working in close. Just about get it clear, but everyone for Brighton behind the ball. Belmount, the striker, now on the last line of defence. Here's Moore. Shaping to maybe go over the top, decides against it. McDonald told about the pressurising coming from the inside. Here's the call, but it's all very similar for Leeds, side to side. No breakthrough forward. Douglas will try and change that. Looking for Ferguson. Lovely lofted pass. Ferguson all the way back across. The flag has gone up. Something a bit different. I mean, Douglas is frustrated. It was a good ball in the end. It looked like he'd overhit it, but he timed it really well. There's another change coming for Brighton. But do you understand why he did that, Douglas? It's something a little bit different as making the change here. Brighton, this time it is. Oriola coming on. And Bashir is the one making way.
Yeah, it is the goal scorer going off. But from Leeds' point of view, in terms of what you're alluding to there, Tom, just trying to get your full-back on overlap, trying to catch out the Brighton back four, just sleeping ever so slightly, and your full-back's trying to creep in round the back. Decent little pass in the end, as you mentioned, a bit of backspin to keep the ball in play. Just mistimed the run, but you're not going to get too many opportunities like that if Brighton are going to keep sitting further back, trying to hold on to this lead. So you've got to mix your game up, yeah, rightly so, but know when to play that pass. Only play it when the space is actually there to be played into.
Good ball. Attacked by Monteiro. And again, more to Douglas. Here's McFadden. Driving at the defence. Not enough room for Gray to shoot. He'll tee it up towards McFadden. Very late decision to play it. McFadden just got his technique wrong. It's Leeds' best opportunity of the entire second half. And maybe the game, considering where he is on the pitch. It's just hard, isn't it, Ben, when it's a snapshot, open up his body. He's frustrated. He's scored some cracking goals for Leeds, and you would have backed him there to hit the target.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult in terms of just the sheer numbers that Brighton had behind the ball and in front of McFadden. But what's good about his play was nice and positive initially, driving forward with the ball towards that heart of the defence of Brighton, and by just doing that, little ricochet, bit of good fortune, the ball fell back to him, and sometimes that just positive mindset, driving forward with the ball, committing, defender to come out at you can just create something out of nothing.
Gray wants a free kick, gets one. Tireless work up there. Referee just stopping proceedings. Chadwick will retie the boots. Allowing Leeds' defenders with the back three can send them all forward. Debayo, Monteiro and Moore have all pushed into Brighton's penalty box. And that area is very congested around the edge of the D and the penalty spot. McFadden just trying to tell Douglas where to go. I mean, there's a glimmer that Leeds could go into the number 14, but that's now turned away. With McFadden moving out of position. Chadwick is frustrated as anybody that the referee won't let the game get back underway. Another wicked delivery. Leeds player down in McFadden. A fall to McDonald. McDonald wants to try and take them on his own. Brighton preferred that. Should be, I think it should have been a goal kick, but it's actually a corner. We'll take it. He's done very well there, McDonald, to be outnumbered and get something.
Yeah, and that's the key, to get something. And you know, the chances have been so few and far between. It might be a set piece that is the breakthrough.
Chadwick lines up the corner. Powerful delivery, headed away by Knight. McDonald unable to get to possession, dispossess Oriola, who spins away. Very quick and elusive off the bench. Vincent prepares to enter the field of play for Leeds. Last attacker available for Scott Garner as Brighton get a throw into the final 7 minutes. That change will be made. And the change is a straight swap with Vincent for Douglas, who just couldn't get going tonight. It's just not been a winger's game really for Leeds, or any of the attackers really. It's been a real slog.
Yeah, and it's them type of games when it's not going for you, can you do your defensive duties? And you have to say both sets of attacking players have done the hard yards, working back.
Concedes a free kick. This is the sort of game that Brighton want. Slow it down, free kick. To get a chance, great. If not, maybe 10 minutes after the stoppage time of just pure frustration, and that is what Leeds are experiencing right now. Vincent to Moore, Leeds trying to go across the defence. Debayo. Due to the positions that Leeds are taking up now, pretty much a back two with two wing backs. Monteiro's gone into the second midfielder when Leeds have got possession. It's just the desperate nature to try and get the points. A bit desperate the pass forward as well. I mean, you said it earlier, but you've got to try something different. Unfortunately, on that occasion, it was overhit, but not doing the same things as the ball is cleared away. 213 in attendance tonight at the LNER Community Stadium, getting their fix of the Leeds United 21s. Good work from Cresswell to pick out Ferguson. First time in ages, had a bit of space to manoeuvre. Down the line to McDonald, stretching all the time to keep it alive. Good work from Debayo. Still going. Tried to cut it into Gray. You can see the intention. Everyone thought he'd go central. Good challenge from Ferguson. Should be. I thought it was a Leeds throw. I mean, Leeds got the corner earlier, maybe evened out. Just has not been their night tonight. And Brighton have really got under Leeds' skin at time. It's been to say they've not won in 5. Possibly the best organised outfit we've seen for some time. As Knight is getting yellow carded for time wasting. They've come from a plan with the first minute to frustrate, and it's been well executed. It's a long way to go if you've not done a good plan. So.
No, it is. But the game's lent itself to kind of the way it's panned out, and I think we were a goal up, we'd probably be doing the same thing, part and parcel of the game.
Back to Debayo now, Ferguson. McDonald looking for the inside pass. Knight gets in the way. Ferguson. Howell beats him. Referee puts advantage as he goes for the top corner. Brighton player suffering with cramp is, I think it's Mullins, the number 10. Vincent just a little bit too heavy that last touch, but he gets a throw. Debayo to Vincent. First time cross was on. Keeper gets a bit of catching practice. Again, something a bit different for Leeds, forcing it wide and trying to find a bit of space out there. Monteiro, final minute of regulation time. Debayo to McDonald. Another sub for Leeds that's not been able to get in the game. McFadden. To Vincent once more, who's going to try and take it to the byline before cutting it back. Brighton have the numbers. Oriola steps in. Cleared again even further by Belmount as Mahady gets involved to get Leeds back on the attack. Official prepares the ball. It's been a real frustrating night for Leeds. Lots of lessons to learn from what's been a great few weeks. And they will come again, no doubt about it. McFadden to Vincent. To McFadden, just where Brighton wanted Leeds to play on the touchline. And Leeds give another free kick away. Another yellow card is coming. Worthy of a card, Ben?
One of those when you do commit at that speed as well. I think the Brighton players probably bought a yellow card. Bit harsh, but again, it's just the frustration of the way the game's kind of panned out. Nothing's kind of gone his way. Yeah, we mentioned the pitch, it is bobbly. Been like that for both teams, in all fairness. But Yeah, it's just not been a real high-quality, free-flowing game of football that we have seen from our players in recent weeks. You get games like this in the course of a season.
Yeah, there's been others before, and they've responded well with a couple of cracking results. A draw with Chelsea, beat Birmingham, Derby and Norwich. And this young group continue to learn their trade. Hopefully they've got another chance up their sleeve for one last bit of magic. Debayo to Vincent. It's a brilliant pass. First touch gets him in space. And Vincent's cross, never going to pick out anybody for Leeds. And again, Brighton will just take some sting out of the play and waste a bit more time. I've always wondered what how much goalkeepers are weighed down by the grass odds on their feet. And that's Rory Mahady, just to let me know. He doesn't have any tonight. If it was 2-1 to Leeds, I can think he'd have plenty. Looking for great, won't fall for him. Will second time around, free kick, and I think if anything sums up the second half for Leeds, that is it.
Yep.
There's been some free kicks that have been legitimate. There's been some where Brighton have gone to ground and Joe Knight pats the referee in the back to say thanks because he owes him one. It must be very, very windy in the middle of the pitch, that's all I'll say. Vincent is fouled. Arguably a free kick considering maybe a yellow card. Yeah, but a time wasting. Referee's punishing him. Ben's frustrated. He wants the game to go on. Mahady. Inside for Vincent. And ball claims. Gray takes it away. Running through on his own, Gray gets a corner. It might be just what Leeds need. Anything to feed off in the dying seconds. So Brighton all hands on deck. Everybody communicating what they want. Pretty much everyone for Leeds got to go forward for this. That is the case. Rory Mahady is joining in. Leeds will keep a fullback on the edge of the box. And that'll probably be it. This will be one way to really test the arm of this Brighton defence. The delivery's got to be good. Chadwick floats it. Moore's at the back post. Turned away by Knight. Poked forward. Debayo deflected it in. And Leeds United, with surely the last kick of the game, have an equaliser from nowhere. So much frustration for tonight's group. The corner comes in. And Knight's deflection fell to the Leeds United number 6, who just swung his leg at the ball. And Leeds, over the recent years, have dazzled us with their play. That is a deflected effort. That's going in the far right corner. It's gone top left. And I don't think anybody connected to this football club cares one bit, Ben. It's one apiece. And they've snatched something.
Yeah, all that matters is that scoreline in the top left-hand corner. And they've had history in recent games in getting goals in last kicks, last moments. And just testament to the character, because nothing's kind of fallen their way, in particular in the second half. The quality of the tempo of the match hasn't been where we've wanted it to be, and all it's taken is a set piece, bodies forward, bit of a ricochet. First time in the whole of the game, in 90 plus 5 minutes, bit of luck has gone in our favour, and Debayo claimed the goal. As you said, we don't care who gets the goal, how it went in. Get a point, and that just is testament to this group, this player's character.
Yeah, Brighton players, some of them really disappointed. The run they've been on top, dominating for large parts. They were a kick away from getting a vital 3 points, and Leeds United's never say die attitude gets them a draw, continues this recent run they've been on. That could be a huge point come the end of the season. Congratulations to Scott Gardner's side, who toughed it out there at the LNER Community Stadium and salvaged something, so they can come back stronger from that, learn plenty. One of those nights where you can just enjoy the moment. You can see the smiles on those players' faces at what has just happened. James Debayo deflected effort, getting them a 1-1 draw. That's all from us here on LUTV.